The Imperium believed the deadliest warrior in history was a myth, until entire kill teams vanished, the Inquisition panicked, and something ancient began hunting humanity from the shadows.
Humanity had known fear for 10,000 years. It had tasted extinction under 1,000 suns, fought nightmares that defied physics, and screamed prayers into the void, hoping the Emperor still heard them. Across the galaxy, the Imperium struggled to hold its fragmented pieces together with blood and fire, while chaos, xenos, and horrors unknown clawed endlessly at its boundaries. But there was a rumor, a whisper really, that slithered through regiments, war rooms, astropathic choirs, even the secret libraries of the Inquisition, a name that refused to die. A name spoken with awe by some, terror by others. The Paragon. Not a Primarch, not an Astartes chapter master, not a custodian, not a demon prince, not even a sanctioned Imperial hero. No records existed of his world of origin, his genetic lineage, or even the era of his birth. No matter how many archivists and adepts cross-referenced his actions, the bureaucratic labyrinth of the Imperium simply had no place for this lone human warrior whose feats bent reason. He appeared where extinction loomed largest. He vanished before metals could be pinned. He left no trace but bodies of enemies and soldiers who swore they saw a ghost made flesh. Some believed him a myth, an amalgam of countless soldiers woven into one impossible legend. Some believed him a perpetual, a rare immortal cursed to die and rise again. Some believed he was touched by the Emperor himself, but none doubted his impact. And now, on the broken world of Vascor 9, those whispers became a roar.
The planet that should have fallen. Vascor 9th was a fortress world, or at least it had been before the sky tore open. Demonic Sire reigned for 7 days, reducing hives to molten slag. On the 8th day, when reality thinned enough to show its bones, the World Eater warbands emerged from the warp, roaring for blood. The Imperial Guard crumbled in the first hour. The PDF surrendered in the second. By the end of the first day, only a single functioning bastion remained. A last doomed redoubt called Fort Reliquary. Colonel Mara Tyron stood atop the crumbling walls as the red moons hung split in the sky, bleeding light across the scorched earth. The roar of chain axes echoed from the ravaged plains below, as cornate berserkers surged toward the fortress, like an avalanche of flesh and steel. She had only 8 squads left. Most were wounded, ammunition nearly gone, spirits broken. There would be no reinforcements, no retreat, no hope. Mara whispered into the static of her vox bead. If anyone loyal receives this, Vascor 9th is lost. Emperor, forgive us. Static. Then, impossibly, a voice. Calm. Firm. Human. Fort Reliquary is not lost, Colonel. Prepare your soldiers. I am en route. Mara froze. Identify yourself. Only silence answered. Then a second voice. Her Vox officer. Trembling. Colonel, you need to see this.
A figure against the apocalypse. Through the drifting ash and burning wreckage, a lone figure walked toward the fortress. Not in bulky power armor, not carrying banners or bearing a squad support. Just a man. His armor was unlike anything Mara had seen. Lightweight, matte black plating woven with shimmering gold filaments, moving almost like cloth. A cloak of scorched ceramic fragments trailed behind him, stitched together like trophies. At his side hung a long, slender blade crackling faintly with turquoise energy, and a compact bolter of entirely unfamiliar design. But it was his eyes, faintly glowing amber like burning coals, that struck her with a feeling she could not name. He walked straight into the oncoming wave of World Eaters, and the galaxy changed. the deadliest warrior revealed. Mara watched, breath caught in her throat, as a berserker twice the man's size charged first. The warrior didn't slow, didn't parry, didn't dodge. He simply stepped aside as if adjusting his stride. The chain axe whistled past him, and with a single reversed slash, his blade severed the berserker's spine. The next three came screaming, chain axes raised. His movements blurred, not the enhanced speed of an Astartes, not the brute power of a custodian, but something precise, almost surgical. Every motion wasted nothing, every strike killed. Legs severed, helmets pierced, jugulars opened, hearts stabbed clean. By the time the 20th berserker fell, the rest hesitated. They hesitated. World eaters, psychotic, warp-drunk murder machines, hesitated. Mara heard one of her troopers whisper, "Throne, that's him. It must be him." But the figure took no glory in the carnage. He lifted his head toward the walls and simply said, "Colonel Tyron, I need your command."
The Paragon enters the war room. Inside the dim war room, the stranger stood across the table from Mara as what remained of the officers stared at him in stunned silence. Smoke drifted from his armor. Blood, World Eater blood, dripped onto the floor. "Your name?" she asked. He paused, as if considering the question. "They've called me many things," he said softly. "But the one that matters to your men right now is Paragon." The room went still. "You're a myth," murmured Lieutenant Hale. "A ghost story." Paragon didn't smile. "Ghosts do not bleed." "Then who are you? Astartes? Off-the-books assassin? Perpetual?" The room erupted in anxious murmurs. Mara held up her hand. Silence. She turned to Paragon. "You have my trust, but understand, if you leave us now, the fortress may not survive." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I have faith in you, Colonel. Humanity isn't saved by heroes. It's saved by those who stand when the galaxy tells them to kneel." For the first time since the invasion, she felt a spark of hope. "Then go," she said, "and Emperor protect you." Paragon's final words before descending the fortress were, "He already has." The Catacombs of Reliquary. The fortress shook as World Eaters hurled themselves against its walls. Screams and gunfire echoed through the halls. Paragon moved beneath it all. The tunnels were carved long before the Imperium claimed Vascor 9th. Their ancient stone hummed with forbidden energy, symbols etched into them glowing faintly at his presence. He knelt, touching one. "Warm, too warm." "Warp burn," he murmured, "but controlled. Not chaos, not quite." He pressed deeper until he found a sealed chamber inscribed with golden script. The language was dead, a dialect predating High Gothic, but Paragon understood. He always understood, because he had been there, long ago. He touched the door. It recognized him. With a shudder like a dying breath, it opened.
The sleeping machine. Inside lay an enormous stasis vault, its crystal walls flickering with faded luminescence. Suspended within was a construct, humanoid but unmistakably non-human, crafted from shimmering alloy and runic plating. Its chest bore 10 overlapping circles, forming the symbol of an ancient empire long extinct. The Phalith Dominion. A civilization wiped out before humanity learned fire. A civilization Paragon had once fought beside, and against. The machine stirred as warp lightning cracked in the sky above. "No," Paragon whispered. "Not this." He approached, hand trembling for the first time. The machine's eyes flicked open. White. Empty. Hungry.
The fortress breaks. Above ground, Mara Tyran's soldiers held the walls, but just barely. Ogren auxiliaries fired ripper guns until barrels melted. Guardsmen hurled grenades down into pits of berserkers climbing the cliffs like insects. A priest screamed sermons while firing a last pistol wildly into the horde. Every minute they held was a miracle. Then came the sound that shattered those miracles. A horn blast from the horizon. Not demonic, not human, something older. A new army marched toward the fortress. Towering, skeletal, metallic. Green energy crackling across their weapons. The Necrons had awakened. Mara's stomach dropped. No, not them. Not now.
How? She demanded. He pointed at the advancing Necron legions. By killing that overlord first. Her jaw dropped. Impossible. His eyes glowed brighter. Not for me. He leapt from the wall into the fray, and the deadliest warrior in Warhammer 40K began carving his way toward the heart of the Necron army. The battlefield of Vaskor 9th burned like the surface of a dying sun. Green lightning cracks from Necron Gauss fire split the air. The screams of the World Eaters shook the ground. And there, threading through it all, was a single human cutting a path toward the Necron overlord with impossible precision. Paragon moved like inevitability given form. Every stride carried purpose. Every swing ended a life. Every second was borrowed time. But unknown to him, and even to Colonel Mara, something far worse than Xenos or Berserkers was already descending toward the planet. Something sanctioned, Imperial, unquestionable. The Holy Ordos had taken notice. Inquisitor Kalen, light years above Vaskor 9th, aboard the battlecruiser Penance of Truth, Inquisitor Jarek Kalen stood in a dark cathedral of steel and sacred wards. The ship hummed with psychic filters and penitential hymns. Cherubim floated overhead, whispering scripture. Kalen was a tall, thin man wrapped in black robes lined with purity seals. A rosette of gold hung heavy on his chest, his right eye replaced with a crimson augmentic lens that clicked with mechanical irritation every time he blinked.
His gaze was fixed on a flickering hololith, Paragon, fighting alone against hundreds of Necrons. The Inquisitor's voice was quiet but lethal. Pause the feed. The image froze. Paragon mid-strike, severing a destroyer lord in two. Kalen stepped closer, studying the impossible. A human should not move like that. A mortal should not survive that. A man should not carve apart Necrons with surgical ease. He whispered, "Finally, we found him." His interrogator, a woman named Vessa Thorn, swallowed nervously. "My lord, confirmation is still..." Kalen's augmentic eye whirred sharply. Interrogator Thorn, this creature matches reports spanning centuries. Thorn hesitated. "Yes, my lord, but he has helped Imperial forces dozens of times, saved entire regiments, stopped daemon outbreaks, intercepted Necron awakenings, and never registered." Kalen's voice turned acidic. "Never submitted to gene scans, never met with a sanctioned authority, never identified himself. Tell me, what servant of the Emperor hides for millennia?" Thorn silently lowered her gaze. Kalen spoke the words like a death sentence. "He is a perpetual, or a warp anomaly, or something more dangerous. Regardless, he is unsanctioned, unbound, and beyond our control." He turned. "Deploy Kill Order Primus." Thorn's head snapped up. "My lord, that is reserved for Daemon Princes and Xenos Archlords. And now,
Kalen said coldly. For the man the galaxy whispers about.
The new front of war. Back on Vascor 9th, Paragon crashed through another wave of Necron warriors, sending sparks and limbs across the ground. The Necron overlord stood atop a shattered monolith platform, tall, inhuman, gleaming with emerald light. Colonel Mara watched from the fortress walls, hands trembling. "How is he even still alive?" whispered Lieutenant Hale. "He isn't still alive," Mara said quietly. "He's something else." Down below, Paragon tore the head from a Necron immortal and used the still-glowing Gauss cannon to incinerate 2 more. His blade hummed like a living star, carving through hyper-dense alloys that should have resisted all mortal strength. Then, for the first time, Paragon stumbled. Just a half step. But the Overlord noticed. It raised its staff, emerald lightning rippling. We remember you." Its voice echoed like metal grinding on bone. Paragon didn't answer. He only leveled his blade. The Overlord continued. "You were the variable, the aberration. You survived when all else perished." Mara watched, breath frozen. "What is it talking about?" Paragon didn't flinch. "You should have stayed asleep." The Overlord's eyes blazed. "And you should have died 10,000 years ago." They clashed, blade against warscythe, sending a shockwave that split the ground. The first shadow falls. High above the planet, the assassin's coffin broke through the atmosphere. A narrow pod, shaped like a needle, undetectable to all but the most advanced sensors. Inside lay an operative of the Officio Assassinorum, a Vindicare marksman, body suspended in auto-hypnotic trance, rifle locked against his chest. His orders: kill the target known as Paragon. No warning, no negotiation, no capture, no mercy. The pod struck the mountain ridge overlooking the battlefield, embedding itself deep into stone. Within seconds, the Vindicare emerged, cloaked, invisible, silent. He took position, stabilized his rifle, adjusted for wind, ash, and warp distortion. Crosshairs found Paragon's skull. The assassin's voice was a whisper. "For the Emperor." His finger tightened. The shot that should have killed him. Paragon pressed the attack, blade slicing sparks from the Overlord's metallic ribs. The construct retaliated with sweeping arcs of its warscythe. Each blow could have cut a tank in half. Paragon dodged by millimeters. Mara watched, unable to breathe. Then something happened that froze her blood. Paragon stopped. He didn't slow. He didn't hesitate. He stopped, mid-strike, muscles coiling. As if sensing something, he moved. A single step forward. A shift so subtle, even Mara almost missed it. But it saved his life. Because at that exact instant, a hyper-accelerated Exodus round screamed through the space his skull had occupied a fraction of a heartbeat earlier. It punched through a Necron Lichguard instead, turning the elite soldier into molten fragments. Paragon didn't look at the hill, didn't search for the shooter. He only whispered, "Inquisition." The Overlord swung. Paragon parried. But for the first time, the war became something larger, something catastrophic. Mara shouted into her Vox, "Who fired that? Was that ours?" No answer came, because the shooter was already relocating. The Inquisitor arrives.
A thunderous boom echoed across the sky as the pennants of truth broke through cloud layers, flanked by 2 escort frigates and a Deathwatch strike cruiser. They descended like judgment given form.
Mara's Vox officer screamed. "Colonel, Imperial vessels entering low atmosphere. They're hailing us." Mara grabbed the receiver. "This is Colonel Tyron of Vascor 9 Defensive Forces. We are under heavily—" A cold, merciless voice cut her off. "This is Inquisitor Jarek Kalin of the Ordo Hereticus. Surrender the individual known as Paragon immediately." Mara's blood ran cold. "Surrender? He's the only reason we're still alive. He is a threat to the Imperium. Compliance is your only path to absolution." Mara clenched her teeth. "Inquisitor, with respect." "There is no with respect. There is obedience. You have 10 minutes. The Vox channel cut. Hale grabbed Mara's arm. "Colonel, what are we going to do?" Mara stared down at Paragon, still dueling the Overlord amid a storm of Gauss fire and berserker roars. Her voice shook. "I don't know." Paragon's reality. Paragon kicked the Overlord back, blade flashing. He didn't need to breathe, but he inhaled anyway, out of habit forged in ages before humanity had even spread across the stars. He knew what the Inquisition's arrival meant.
The Xenos threat? Irrelevant. The World Eaters? Distracting. The Necrons? Dangerous, but containable. The Inquisition? Fatal. "You are distracted," the Overlord hissed, cracks glowing along its skull. Paragon's reply was quiet. "They're not here for you." He lunged. The Overlord countered. Sparks flashed like dying stars. "They fear what they cannot control," the Necron intoned. "And you cannot control yourself." Paragon's blade plunged into the Overlord's chest. The Xenos construct spasmed, crackled, and disintegrated into cascading motes of emerald light. But Paragon didn't celebrate, because he finally felt it. Not psychic, not warp-based, not Xenos. Imperial. More than one. He whispered. "They brought Deathwatch." The black ship. The Deathwatch strike cruiser descended lower, its bay doors opening like the maw of a great beast. Mara's command screens lit up. "Drop pods!" shouted Hale. "Multiple signatures! Dozens! No, hundreds!"
The pods streaked across the sky like falling stars, slamming into the battlefield. Massive hatches blew open. Out stepped elite Astartes in black ceramite, pauldrons marked with the sigils of dozens of chapters, blood angels, iron hands, salamanders, crimson fists, space wolves. A kill team army. And leading them, towering, silver-armored, with a 2-handed glaive humming with psychic power, a Grey Knight Justicar. Mara felt her throat tighten. "They sent Grey Knights?" Hale whispered. "Colonel, why? Why against one man?" Mara looked down at Paragon again, and for the first time, she feared him. The clash of impossible forces. The battlefield shifted. No longer Necrons versus humans. No longer Berserkers versus Fortress. Now it became Paragon versus the Imperium itself. Deathwatch squads advanced with flawless discipline, ignoring all other enemies. They moved toward Paragon like a closing iron fist. The Grey Knight's voice boomed. "Unregistered anomaly, you will submit." Paragon looked up at him. "No." The Justicar raised his glaive, psychic energy swirling around him. "Then by the Emperor's will, you are condemned." Paragon's blade hummed, glowing brighter. "Then let's see," he murmured, "if he still favors me." He charged. So did they. The first Deathwatch falls. A Salamander's veteran swung his thunderhammer in a blow that could have flattened a tank. Paragon ducked under it and slashed upward, severing the Astartes' arm at the elbow.
The warrior roared, lunging again, but Paragon spun and impaled him through the heart. A space wolf charged next, frostblade raised. Paragon twisted, caught the blade with his gauntlet, and shattered it with a single strike. He moved like a storm, like a force of nature, like death made efficient. But these were not mindless foes. A crimson fist aimed his bolter at Paragon's back and actually landed a hit, rounds exploding against his armor hard enough to send him skidding. A raven guard dropped from above, lightning claws raking Paragon's shoulder. A minotaur slammed into him like a living wall. Paragon staggered. For the first time, he was slowing. Because Deathwatch did not tire, did not break, did not fear, and more pods were landing. The Grey Knight enters. The Justicar raised his hand. Hold. The Deathwatch paused instantly, forming a wide circle. The Grey Knight stepped forward, psychic light burning from his armor runes. "You fight like a demon," he said, "and yet you smell human. What are you?" Paragon wiped blood from his lip. "The last thing you should be trying to kill." The Justicar pointed his blade. "Submit or be ended." Paragon shifted his stance, breathing steady. "I choose the third option." The Justicar frowned. "There is no third." Paragon blurred forward.
The impossible strike. Paragon's blade met the psychic glaive in a clash that shook the ground. Warp energy exploded outward, vaporizing several nearby Necrons and even knocking 2 World Eaters off their feet. The Justicar snarled and unleashed a psychic shockwave. Paragon tanked it. Barely, but he did. The Grey Knight's eyes widened. "You resist the Emperor's light?" Paragon's voice cut like ice. "I resist you." The battle erupted, flashes of silver and blue and turquoise as the 2 combatants moved faster than mortal eyes could follow. But psychic energy began to overwhelm Paragon's senses. His armor cracked, his blade flickered, his muscles trembled. The Justicar lifted his glaive for a death blow. Then the fortress loudspeaker screamed, "Paragon, fall back now!" It was Mara, her voice desperate. "Inquisitorial gunships inbound. They don't care about us. They're going to glass the entire battlefield." Paragon's eyes widened. The Inquisition wasn't here to capture him. They were here to erase everything around him. Even the guard he saved. Even civilians hidden underground. Even their own Deathwatch. They wanted him dead that badly. He whispered, "No, not again." He vanished in a burst of speed, breaking through the circle of Astartes before they could react.
The Grey Knight shouted, "After him!" But before any could pursue, the sky ignited. The cleansing fire. The penance of truth opened its bombardment bays. A rain of white-hot, purifying fire began to fall. Deathwatch, Necrons, Berserkers, Imperial Guardsmen, everyone on the battlefield scrambled for cover. Colonel Mara screamed, "Take cover! Emperor, have mercy!" But Paragon didn't run. He sprinted back toward the fortress, toward Mara, toward the only humans who had treated him like something other than a weapon. He reached the walls just as the first bombardment struck behind him. The ground exploded in a wave of fire. Mara reached down, hand extended. "Paragon, jump!" He leapt. The blast hit. The fortress shattered, and everything went white.
Silence. Crushing, absolute silence. Then a distant crack. A whisper of shifting stone. A cough. Colonel Mara Tyron dragged herself out from beneath a slab of broken ferrocrete, every muscle screaming. Her uniform was torn, her armor cracked, her skin burned by the blast. Smoke curled from her hair, blood trickled down her face. She blinked through the dust. Fort Reliquary, once a proud final bastion, was gone, completely flattened. Only blackened fragments of walls remained. jutting from the scorched earth like jagged tombstones. Fires burned in patches. Munitions cook-offs sounded like distant rain. Her ears rang. Her breath trembled. But she was alive. Barely. Colonel? Colonel? A voice rasped. Mara turned, teeth clenched. 2 guardsmen limped toward her, supporting each other. Ma'am, is that you? Emperor's throne, we thought. Status report, she croaked. We don't know. Most of the regiment, gone. The bombardment hit everything. Even the Death Watch. Even the Necrons. And Paragon? The guardsman fell silent. Mara's stomach twisted. No, he couldn't be. A sudden crack of stone behind her made her spin. The rubble bulged, shifted, collapsed outward, and from beneath the shattered ruin of the fortress, a hand emerged. A human hand, burned, trembling, alive.
Mara stumbled forward, calling out, "Paragon!" The figure pushed through broken stone, dust cascading off him like a shroud. His armor was shredded, plating warped and cracked. Blood dripped from a dozen wounds. His cloak burned away entirely. But he stood, breathing, alive, as if refusing any other option. Paragon looked at Mara with eyes burning faintly amber, flickering like dying embers. "You're alive," Mara breathed. "So are you," he rasped. "Good." She stared at him, stunned. "You survived an orbital bombardment. Why won't you die?" Paragon lifted his head, the faintest hint of pain behind his eyes. "I've tried. What survives after everything else is dead?" Paragon surveyed the wasteland. Bodies. Ash. Crater fields. Shattered vehicles. Shattered armor. Everything burned in a cleansing fire meant to erase all life. The Inquisition's bombardment had not discriminated. It was meant to kill him. Everything else was collateral. Paragon closed his eyes briefly. "I warned them," he whispered. "Centuries ago. I warned them what they would become." Mara stepped closer. "What are you to them?" Paragon opened his eyes slowly. "A mistake." Before Mara could ask more, a low mechanical hum filled the air. They turned and saw death marching toward them.
The Necron Resurgence. From the smoke and ash, 20 Necron warriors reassembled themselves, metal repairing, limbs reconnecting, skulls reforming with unnatural precision. The bombardment hadn't killed them, it had merely inconvenienced them. Mara reached for her last pistol, empty. Her surviving troopers raised their weapons, shaking. Paragon stepped in front of them. "No," Mara blinked. "No? They're regenerating." "I know." His blade, cracked and sparking, hummed weakly. "But something's wrong." The Necrons paused 10 meters away, stood motionless, did not advance. Mara whispered, "Why aren't they attacking?" Paragon stepped forward cautiously. Then he heard it, a voice in his mind, not psychic, not spoken, but transmitted. "We are not your enemies, variable." Mara stiffened. What was that?" Paragon didn't answer. The Necrons bowed their heads, a gesture they had not given to any living thing in millennia. The central warrior's chest glowed, projecting an image. An overseer. No, a cryptic, entombed deep beneath Vascor 9.
Its voice echoed in flat metallic resonance. "The overlord you destroyed was a guardian, not the master." Paragon's jaw tightened. "Of course," he whispered. "We watched the bombardment. We saw the Imperium attempt to erase you. We have concluded a new threat hierarchy." Mara swallowed. "What does that mean?" Paragon answered quietly.
I just moved above them. Correct, the cryptech said. The Imperium seeks your death, but we do not. Not now. Mara frowned. Are you offering an alliance? We offer terms. We require the variable alive. You will come to the tomb. You will comply. Paragon's eyes flickered. No. The Necrons froze. You will not control me. His voice was sharp, dangerous. The cryptech replied coldly. Then your species will fall. Paragon stepped closer, blade raised. Then we do things my way. The Necrons readied their weapons. And then a new sound pierced the air. Thunder. Warped thunder. The unmistakable scream of a teleportarium.
From here, to be continued. Subscribe now, because the next part changes everything.